Sorry about that, babe.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. My main reason for it doesn't necessarily coincide with the dates, but the main reason that I ended up stopping the channel was I unexpectedly lost my old job to start the new year. And because of that, I ended up not buying any new Pokemon product from January up until recently. We're now getting close to the end of May. I was lucky enough to, get new employment, and I just started this week, which is great. And with that, I plan on resurrecting the channel here. So, yes, pack openings will return. Unfortunately for you guys, I did open my stash stuff over the course of my unemployment off camera. I just kind of did it to, pass the time and feel better. I got some really good hits. I don't want to spoil everything. I'll show you guys in another video. But I wanted to kind of venture off a little bit, not do just pack opening stuff, so I wanted to go over some collection things. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the original base set by Wizards of the Coast. This binder has a complete set of base set, jungle, and fossil. When I got into Pokemon TCG, I got into it with base set. I'm a Gen 1 guy. I had both complete set of Japanese and English back in the day. Unfortunately, I did let my parents sell a bunch of my cards when I was drifting on into high school. I did keep a few, and then over the years I was able to find some things at flea markets. I think I might have had to buy a single or two online, but the majority of the cards that are in here for base set were part of my childhood collection, or I got back into it with my friend Chris, probably in like 2003 or 4 or something, and I kind of compiled all those cards since then. So sadly, not a lot of first editions and whatnot, but yeah, I figured it'd be cool to kind of go over it and, talk about my favorite cards and talk about some things of Pokemon yesteryear. So hopefully that's your thing. If it's not, well, stay tuned anyway, we'll be opening more cards. And I do plan on occasionally opening up other TCGs like maybe Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh! And I also have a bunch of old sports cards that I kind of feel like opening up too, so hopefully it tickles somebody's fancy. Oh, also, if you haven't subbed already, please consider subscribing. And my main channel, Bits and Glory, is a retro gaming channel and From Software challenge run channel, so if you want to check that out, feel free. Alrighty, here we are. Yeah, you know what? I hate this freaking ring light, actually. All it does is, like, create extra glare, So let's get rid of it. It's fine. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to frame this here. But these are in order. They're double sleeved, and let's go over everything. So, first page here, primarily the heavy hitters. For the most part, it is missing one that I would deem a heavy hitter. But my favorite card of all time is probably Blastoise. Blastoise is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Big water type guy. And the card itself is amazing in the game. The Rain Dance ability is nuts. Obviously, Blastoise is a stage 2, so you have to either evolve into it or use, like, Pokemon Breeder or something like that. But basically, once you get Blastoise, your water deck is gonna go off. Rain Dance allows you to pretty much just, like, attach water energies to your water Pokemon almost endlessly. So things can get going pretty crazy at that point. But I've also was really big into Alakazam. I just felt like the artwork was like super cool and sort of like, I don't know, foreboding. Plus it's the first card, it's number 1. How about it? Chansey, bit of a troll Pokemon used in a lot of like stall decks. Pretty low retreat cost, high HP. Double Edge is a good attack, but obviously does a lot of damage to itself. But Scrunch is where it's at. You flip a coin, prevents all damage to Chansey if heads during the next turn. Also, I apologize, I was doing some housework the other day. I got scuffed up a little bit, so my hand modeling days are over. But the one card that everybody always fawns over, Charizard. Sadly, this isn't first edition or Shadowless, but it's classic. I mean, that is amazing artwork. Very iconic. Timeless, if you will. Gyarados is also one of my favorite cards growing up. I just really enjoy, again, water type guy. I thought the background was really sick, and I know it's, quote unquote, not worth that much compared to a lot of the other ones, but always drew my interest. So, before I get into Hitmonchan, Machamp, you'll see the first edition stamp. That was basically an error. I think every single Machamp from base set has a first edition stamp, no matter what. Came in the starter deck as well. Hitmonchan is actually one of the best cards in the TCG for the old formats. Basic Pokemon, 70 HP, jab for 20, or excuse me, does 20 damage, but for only 1 energy. Special Punch obviously takes a little while to get up there, but just being able to jab things, you know, normal type Pokemon, Clefairy would be dead in 1 hit, for example, due to the weakness. Just a good starter. Get things rolling in your game. Alright, gotta reposition here a little bit. Trying to get less glare for you guys. It's tough though. Mewtwo, another classic card. I was always a little underwhelmed by Mewtwo. Mewtwo is not like a terrible card per se, but I just felt like with how sick Mewtwo is, especially like in the game and in the anime and stuff, felt like it should have been a little bit better than what it ended up being. Nidoking was one of those cards where it was like, I don't know. Obviously, Nidoking isn't a psychic Pokemon by any means, but I always thought it was like funny seeing Nidoking on a green background. Also, my cat Lily's bouncing around, so you might see her or feel her bump into the frame at some point. Ninetales, again, I actually love Ninetales, but I think kids growing up, if you're opening the packs, you probably, you know, doing like a slow roll, and you're like, oh my god, I got Charizard, now it's Ninetales. But again, pretty sick. Also, Belmont just joined, so I have both cats down here. There might be some fighting. They're next to each other. Poliwrath, another sick one. Definitely feel like one of the more underrated evolution lines in Pokemon. Raichu. Raichu was one that I actually didn't see a lot of as a kid. In my headcanon, I always was like, yeah, super rare, that one. And there you got Venusaur, obviously, final stage evolution of the big 3, if you will, from Kanto. Classic card. And the final hologram, Zapdos. Big Zapdos fan. I'm a little upset because the 2 Zapdos cards that came out originally are very similar looking. Felt like they could have done a little bit more, but still a cool card. Now we're drifting into the non-holo rares. We have Beedrill, Dragonair. The Dragonair artwork is absolutely just honestly stunning. I would love to have the Dragonair artwork as like an actual like printout or something. I think it would be sick. Dugtrio, Electabuzz. Electabuzz is another wonderful basic type Pokemon to use in the game. You know, you could do 10 damage for 1 energy, flip a coin if heads, paralyzed, could get your opponent stuck in a loop. Obviously the weakness though to Hitmonchan, for example, can be countered. You know, you do 2 jabs with Hitmonchan and you're dead. But Thunder Punch, also a good move for only 2 energy. 30 plus, flip a coin if heads, it does 10 more. And then flip a coin if tails, it does 10 damage to yourself. A little risky, but still a great card. Electrode, interesting. I actually built a deck around Electrode, the Buzz Zap ability. At any time during your turn, you may knock out Electrode and attach up to, excuse me, can't really read it, super small. And attach it to one of your other Pokemon if you do choose a type of energy. So basically what you do is you knock out Electrode and it just like turns into energy cards. It provides 2 of whatever type. So it could be very valuable in a deck where you're trying to get a particular attacker going that has a high energy cost. Pidgeotto, a little disappointing. We did not get Pidgeot in base set. We didn't get that until Jungle. But it's a rare. Kind of interesting because it's not the final stage. What are you going to do? And then we get into the uncommons. Always found, again, when you're a kid, man, all you do is look at the numbers, right? What has the biggest numbers? Arcanine, high HP, high damage. Great card, right? Well, not necessarily. It's not a terrible card, but could be better. Always felt like the Charmeleon artwork was pretty iconic as well. Dugong, Dratini, and Farfetch'd. Not gonna, you know, take up all your time here. Growlithe, Haunter, Ivysaur, Jinx, Kadabra, and Kakuna, Machoke, Magikarp, and Magmar. So this Magmar is not great in the TCG. The one that came out, I think, in Fossil, way better. You could pair it up with Electabuzz, make a pretty interesting deck. I have one, I called it Buzzmar. I don't know if that was the actual name for people that used it, but that's what I call it. Nidorino, Poliwhirl, Porygon. I always feel like the Porygon artwork was, I don't know. You know, obviously the way that Porygon is as a Pokemon, right, kind of makes sense, like computer generated. But sort of, was strange. Kind of, also Haunter, I believe, is computer generated from what I'm seeing. I guess I should have touched on some of the other artworks that I like. Magikarp, also pretty timeless. The Kadabra line, in general, also good. Raticate, Seal, Wartortle. Always thought the Wartortle card, in general, was pretty goofy looking, but I guess that's the awkward middle evolutions, right? Aforementioned Abracadabra Alakazam line, pretty sick. Bulbasaur, spouting off there. Caterpie. Charmander is pretty iconic as well. Charmander is my least favorite starter and evolution line out of the three. I do prefer Squirtle and Bulbasaur in their lines, but hard to deny. That's why you're in a harder sleeve there. Diglett, Doduo. Doduo is actually a pretty good card in the TCG. Free retreat cost, 50 HP basic, 1 energy to do an attack. Obviously, revolves around coin flips. It's either 20, 10, or nothing, but the free retreat cost always good. Also resistant to fighting. So basically you could pretty much nullify a Hitmonchan, for example. Drowsy, Ghastly, again keeping up with the weird computer graphics, but I guess it's in line because Haunter is as well. Coughing was definitely a goofy card. Always enjoyed Machop, by the way. He's like, you know, holding up some huge boulder or something. Magnemite. Can't tell, is that computer graphics or is that like clay? Probably computer. Surprisingly, I never really analyzed it as much as you'd think. Metapod, Nidoran, Onix and Pidgey, Pikachu, classic. So there is Red Cheeks and Yellow Cheeks Pikachu. I believe I have a Red Cheek one at the end, which we'll look at. Poliwag, Ponyta, Rattata, Sandshrew, and Squirtle. Epic Squirtle, standing up there spouting out those bubbles. Gotta love it. Starmie was another one. For some reason, when I was a kid, I was like, it's gotta be super rare, right? I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I played the game so much and, you know, that's like Misty's main squeeze. Staryu and Tangela, Voltorb, Vulpix, which is a very common error card, as you can see here. Typically it's a number HP, but a lot of the Vulpix cards have HP number. I actually think the rarer one is probably the print that has 50 HP. But anyway. Weedle, and now we're getting into trainer cards. Now there's a lot of rare trainer cards, which again, if you're a kid opening up packs, you're probably rolling on your grave right now thinking about them. Some of them are really good though for the game. Clefairy Doll, and not so much. I just realized there's a hair stuck in there, guys. Where is it? It's in the sleeve. Jeez. What happens when you have cats running around, man? I can't even get it out, bro. Is it in the... Oh, there it is. Alright, finally got it. Look at that. Cleared it out. Computer Search is an awesome card for the TCG. Discard 2 other cards from your hand in order to search your deck for any card, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. So if you're not really familiar with the old game, you could just use endless trainer cards. I know in the modern game you can only use like 1 supporter per turn. Not the case back in the day, so Computer Search was a great way to rip through your deck and find things that you need. Devolution Spray, Imposter Professor Oak, Item Finder, another great card. Discard 2 cards from your hand in order to put a trainer card from your discard pile back in your hand. So these two can kind of work hand in hand at times. Last, okay. The aforementioned Pokemon Breeder, it's basically like a rare candy in the modern game. You could skip an evolution stage, so you can go from Squirtle to Blastoise. These two can go very hand in hand as well. Pokemon Trader, trade a basic or evolution Pokemon in your hand for 1 from your deck, basically. So if you're like, let's say you have a Squirtle and a Blastoise in both of these cards, and you have some, you know, random, I don't know, in your deck. I guess you'd probably have, like, let's say, I don't know, Lapras or Articuno or something. You could trade to get the Blastoise out and then breed into it, and there you go. Scoop Up, another pretty good card. Choose one of your Pokemon and return its basic Pokemon card to your hand. You have to discard all the other cards attached. Super Energy Removal. You could discard one energy card from your own to get rid of 2 off of your opponent. Pretty good. Defender ain't bad either. Full Heal, Maintenance, Plus Power. You know, the Plus Power and Defense can be good in spurts. Pokemon Center, I'm not a huge fan of these in terms of the game. Professor Oak, goated, one of the best cards of all time. Discard your hand and then draw 7 cards. This card in general has been repeated a bajillion times under the moniker of different professors. Again, old format, dude, you could just rip through your deck. Revive, Super Potion, Bill, another goated card. Simply draw 2 cards. Another goated card, Energy Removal. You just simply remove an energy from your opponent and you don't have to do anything. You could have 4 in your deck. Obviously, you can kind of recycle them around with Item Finder. It could be very annoying. Gust of Wind, similar to, I guess, like, I don't know what they are now, but like when I was playing again many years ago, it was like Guzma. Choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and switch it up with the active. Very, very good strategic card. Potion, not bad. Switch, all-time classic. You simply switch your active with a benched. Could be good if you have higher retreat costs. And then, of course, energy cards. Double colorless is basically a special energy. And then there you go. Fighting Fire. Leaf. Electric, Psychic, and Water back in the day, guys. Not that many types. And then we have a couple random cards in here. Oh, we are... Major spoiler, let me keep my hand over here, jeez. Move that out of frame a little bit. So I just have a couple random cards at the end. Shadowless Red Cheeks Pikachu. These aren't in the greatest of shape, but I wanted to include them because they're pretty cool. We have a Shadowless Mewtwo holo, pretty sick, and a Shadowless Beedrill. I do have some other Shadowless cards, but again, they're not in great shape. I got them from a flea market. So these were definitely the 3 standout ones because rare holo, and of course, Red Cheeks Pikachu. Now this one, interesting, and I'll just close this up for now. Let you guys look at sick playmat that I got. So, you might be wondering why this is there. You see the corner? It is not rounded. And neither is this one. So it's actually a factory miscut. I got this at a flea market in a large pile of cards. It's nothing crazy, but I always found it to be pretty interesting. I kind of would have figured if it was a true factory miscut that it would have had all 4 corners were not rounded, but yeah, the left side is and the right side isn't. I remember I tried to sell this on eBay for like $5. Had it up for about a month or 2, nobody bought it. This was probably back in like 2017 or something, and then I said, you know what, I'm just gonna keep it, so. Don't regret it, now it's part of the binder. So anyways, guys, that is a overview of my base set Wizards of the Coast collection. Again, very integral part of my actual TCG gaming experience, because I pretty much just play, for the old stuff, just play base set Jungle Fossil. Great iconic set. Hopefully you enjoyed this kind of overview and trip down memory lane. You know, if it does okay, I'll continue to do more of these with other complete sets and like big hit binders and stuff. And yeah, stay tuned. I will be doing more openings. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and take care. Have a good one.